Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Vadrouilleur. We are the pleasure to receive you in our location. So is a small village in the middle of the Mont Ventoux. Mont Ventoux is south of France, nearby Avignon. So I am Didier, 65 years old, and before to start this distillery activity, we did travel with the family through 8 different countries, ended up in Uzbekistan in 2020, just before I retired.
And I'm Theo, and working with my father on this distillery. I'm 28 years old, and I've also lived in 10 countries. And that's why we're called Le Vadrouilleur, which in English means the wanderer, which basically summarizes our 22 years of experience in the past. And we're originally from this small town in Provence called Sceaux, where we decided to set up our distillery based around the lavender fields and the local produce of Herbes de Provence. So it took us around 6 to 8 months to legalize our distillery with the customs from France and all the appropriate mayors and other parties involved to get it live. And then it took us about another year and a half to get all the construction done to get it opened. So France is divided in terms of a lot of spirits. In the south of France, it's mostly pastis, which is a drink around anise most of the time. If you go southwest of France, it's mostly cognac. And if you go up north, it's mostly calvados, which is the equivalent of moonshine. Mostly produced in France, it's definitely cognac. We are the only region in the world that can call itself cognac, and we export 95% of our cognac to the United States and China. So we've launched our first gin, which is gin Mistello, which means alcohol spirit in Provençal dialect, which is a gin based around lavender, because we're essentially a lavender region. So inside we have lavender, thyme, sage, verbena. It's a very flourish gin. That's our first gin, and now we're currently working on a vodka, whiskey, and a pastis as well. Yeah, so we entered the World Gin Awards earlier last year for the contemporary style of gin, and we won our first silver medal in this award, where there's about 3,000 gins that are submitted. So we're quite happy with it for our first gin ever made, and it's quite satisfying to know that our product is going in the right direction. Yeah, so when we launched the distillery last summer, of course we made the gin, but we also made a gin workshop. So what it entails, it means that you come here for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2 hours and a half, and we teach you the principles of distillation, how to make your own gin recipe, and then from that point forwards, you then distill your own gin for 45 minutes and go back with half a liter of your own personalized gin, with a gin tonic at the end, of course. We're currently working with a DES pot still, as you can see behind me. So we have a enrichment column, a rectification column, a herb basket, and a condenser. Our pot still is 500 liters. Depending on what we're trying to distill, we use different types of columns. Currently, we're using both columns as it's a way we produce our gin and how we know how to do it best. So when we distill with the current setup, we're starting around 94%. Today we're doing a distillation of a Mistello batch. So it's around between 8 to 10 hours for our distillation purposes. We like to take it nice and slow to extract all the best aromas. So we distill around 500 liters. In terms of bottle-wise, we're around 450, 440 bottles per distillation. Yeah, absolutely. Works like a charm. Very happy. So far, so good. We're being able to produce different types of spirits, which was key for us, not only one type. And this type of pot still enables us to do it and helps us to produce also small batches and big batches in terms of volume. So yeah, overall very satisfied.